Hey guys, Tuesday, March the 19th, I'm going to check out Palladium. I'm going to do some spectrum cycle analysis on Palladium. So right now, this is a 20-year data set that I'm using from 2000. And I want to see what's cooking with uranium. If this low makes sense on the spectrum cycle analyzer. So from what I'm noticing here, there is an important cycle here, which is a 335. So this is a 335. The Bartell is not that great. It's not high enough, but it is showing some significance here on the spectrum. You can see that there is a low, a trough that we hit on December 26th. And now this cycle is starting to go up. The second one that comes in line will be, let's see, is it a 249? And the 249 hit a trough around July the 31st of 2023. You can see that prices continue to push lower. So it's like, maybe this one didn't really work out that well. Kind of picked the peak here, but it's not peaking the bottom. So let's go back to this 335 right here of a December trough low. And now the cycle is going up. Just kind of zoom in. You notice down here, this is a little more fractal. You can see that right now we're at a bottom on February the 12th around there. And that's like that 850-ish. So this little cycle here, this fractal cycle goes up to like May 14th. Could this possibly be a swing play? It could be. If this is going to play out. The good thing is that at least you got this bigger cycle that is positive. And if it's going to play out with the fractal, they're both, pushing higher prices or momentum. Or at least maybe for a swing, and then maybe once it continue pushing lower, and maybe this doesn't work out. You could kind of tell it maybe topping out around May 14, May 21st. And then if it starts coming down again, maybe this cycle may not be working out either. But that all depends. We don't know yet. But just if you're using probability, this is probably a good start to see why, we're bottoming out here and we're pushing higher. You can see that these are closes, so we're really not out of the woodworks. It's still, it could still have potential to push lower. So just keep that in mind. But so far in the weekly, I see this positive up to like around May-ish 14th, maybe the second week. Get toppy. It's not going to go in a straight line. There's going to be pullback. So if we were to play this, I would wait for a nice little pullback and buy in a dip. And see if we could, rally or continue pushing higher until May using this fractal cycle. Now, the bigger one is the bigger, cycle trend that is going to show that's telling you that it's going to be probably going sideways to higher, but we'll see. Let's look at the daily, because I'm curious to see what the daily is showing. So this is a daily, and I'm going to use 5 years. I'm going to cut that in half. And this is all out of sample, so I'm going to include all this. So we're going to have data all the way from like 2017, and we're going to kind of see what we have cooking here. So from what I see on the spectrum cycle, there's a cycle here is 315. And this one doesn't look too good. Even though the weekly cycle is up. However, the daily cycle is down, and it's down till like May. Interesting. So you have a weekly cycle that is up. There's a fractal one that's up, and it tops out around May 14-ish. And then you have a daily cycle that bottoms out on May 7, around the 9th, pretty much the second week of May, while the fractal one tops out in May. So that's going to be interesting. You got things that are going against each other. And the dominant cycle is 26, which is this. So it looks like a lot of noise. a lot of, movement, so I don't want to use that. So there's something to keep in mind. Now looking at the fractal, it's down, now it's up. So now it's hitting a peak around here. So in the fractal, it's going to probably come down for a couple of days until like March the 28th. So maybe around the 28th might be a good, around those days. Pretty much towards the end of the of March, to if there's a dip, to accumulate and see how that's going to play out into the writing the week. But it's kind of conflicting here because you got the daily pushing down. So a couple of things. You could use the fractal cycle to write these swings, or you rather just wait since the weekly's up. The only thing is that you're going to go against, on the fractal once it goes up here. And that's when you really find out if it's going to turn. It's going to turn in May if it continues grinding higher here. So let's say if it starts doing this around May and then it pushes down, you're going to tell right away that, the weekly cycle or the weekly fractal is taking control, which will be right here, and it's going to push it down. But if the daily cycle is going to take effect, then that's when it's going to kick in here. And with the weekly already up from December and this pullback, this is probably where it's going to maybe turn and have a chance to grind higher. But you have to watch, at least for the 850, that it's not taken out. You never know. It could probably go down there and do a fail new low. And that's even better because that's more confirmation that the bulls are defending 850. But if it doesn't get there and it's like a leg 2, and to do a wave 3, you have to see how that's going to play out. But nonetheless, interesting. So I'm going to be watching it. So far, I know that the weekly has some bottoming signs. The daily, if this is playing out, could chop around till May and maybe turn around here. I will have to look at the seasonalities also to see how that's going to play out. Let me see. There's another cycle here. What is this? The 173. The 173 is toppy here, and then it goes down to June. But I'm kind of leaning more on the 315 because it shows a little more positive here. So I want to see how that's going to play out. I'll probably be looking at seasonality, but I wanted to put out this video just to kind of let you know my thoughts on Palladium, and then just kind of build a case. But so far, the weekly has a good check. I give it a green thumb right there. The daily is kind of mixed. There's a lot of things mixed. It's not in sync. I mean, you could go long here, but then it could chop you down. And, probably the safest thing to do is wait for May and any sign of strength, buy, because now you have the daily and the weekly pointing up, and that's all using probability. This is not even guaranteed. This is just using, cycle spectrum analysis just to see if this, if there's a good chance that this is a good turning point. But it's a good start, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the Palladium.